Hi, my name is Paulina Jimenez, and I am a student in the LEAP Health course. I'm a pre-nursing first-year student at the University of Utah and hopes to become a nurse practitioner. And this is my research project for the Undergraduate Research Symposium. My topic is about how COVID-19 impacts first-year college students' mental health when schooling and social life have been modified. I worked under the supervision of Dr. Rachel Borup, who is one of the health professional lead professors at TU. In that case, let's get started with my presentation. As a class, we read the novel The Plague by Albert Camus. This novel was published in 1947. However, this read correlates closely to what our society is going through currently with the COVID-19 pandemic. The novel The Plague is about a plague epidemic in the larger Algerian city of Oran. The citizens in the novel were not aware what was coming their way until they noticed that thousands of rats started to scatter out into the open and strangely die in a gruesome way. The citizens in the town later figured out that the rats were dying from a plague. Some citizens did not think much of the dying rats. However, the public began to feel apprehensive when the dying rats resumed to surge. Out of nowhere, individuals began to become sick from a strange, unknown illness. These individuals that were sick would also eventually die. No one knew anything about this illness or how to combat it, considering that there was no immunization to stop the spread. The city authorities had to make the difficult decision to close the city gates and restrict anyone from leaving or coming into the city until the plague was under control. The city authorities ordered strict sanitation measures and placed the whole city under quarantine for a year until some characters in the novel were able to obtain an immunization to help combat the sickness. Individuals also began to survive when sick with the plague. There was a lot of tragedy, unfortunate events, and human suffering in this novel, which corresponds to what our society is going through with the COVID-19 pandemic. During the COVID-19 pandemic, millions of individuals have passed away from this virus, of which is very heartbreaking. Many individuals have also lost their jobs, career opportunities, and missed out on many experiences. I thought this quote from the novel, which reads, "How hard it must be to live only with what one knows and with what one remembers, cut off from what one hopes for," was relevant to my research project because all first-year college students were expecting and hoping to have a so-called normal college experience. However, the COVID-19 pandemic cut off those first-year college experiences for the majority of college students by moving school online during the spring and fall semester. This quote was said by the narrator of the novel, whose name is Dr. Ryu, after one of his close friends died of plague right before the end of the epidemic. Due to the COVID-19 virus, several first-year college students had to miss out on many experiences during their first fall and spring academic semesters. The pandemic has caused universities and colleges across the nation to mandate college courses to be strictly online to help minimize the rate of cases on campus. However, how were first-year college students affected psychologically when schooling and social life have changed due to COVID-19? Well, in many recent studies, they focused on the impact of COVID-19 on solely full-time college students. Though after encompassing, synthesizing, and distilling the information that I gathered in my literature review and from my interviewee, I composed a research thesis, which is, the COVID-19 pandemic has brought an undesirable outcome to first-year college students' mental health by increasing their anxiety, adding more stress that has influenced their eating habits, and caused students to lose academic motivation. Before I start introducing the information that was collected, as I mentioned in the last slide, I conducted an interview with a first-year college student in hopes to get more information and insight regarding my topic. I chose one of my really good friends, Aaliyah Gomez, to be my interviewee. She is a first-year student at the University of Utah who lives on campus. I came up with 10 questions, as you can see, first begin very general and helps to put my interviewee at ease and build trust when then went into more challenging questions regarding how COVID-19 has affected her mentally, emotionally, etc. If you're interested, you can pause the video and read the following questions. In this day and age, the increase of depleting mental health correlates with COVID-19, particularly in the vulnerable population of first-year college students. The relationship between college students' diminishing mental health and COVID-19 is well established in an interview survey by Sun, Hedge, and Smith, referred to as Effects of COVID-19 on College Students' Mental Health in the United States Interview Survey Study. Their study concluded that due to the numerous lockdowns and stay-at-home orders, the COVID-19 pandemic has brought an undesirable outcome on college students' mental health. In this study, the results showed that 97% of participants endured an increase in anxiety and or depression due to COVID-19. However, in an era with highly diverse individuals attending universities and colleges, students' mental health illnesses vary depending on demographic, private, and social attributes. An issue with Sun, Hedge, and Smith's approach is that their study generalized the students and their research rather than evaluating the college students' social demographic profiles. On the contrary, Copeland, McGinnis, and Bay's study, Impact of COVID-19 Pandemic on College Students' Mental Health and Wellness, measured the result by gender, income, and living status to broaden their analysis. In Copeland, McGinnis, and Bay's study, they found that first-year students who live with parents or have a steady family income are more resilient in experiencing anxiety and other mental health problems. Having this strict mandate at the beginning of the pandemic with avoiding social interactions with friends and distant family caused college students to have more things to worry about, making sure that their family is healthy and hoping that no one gets sick with the COVID-19 virus. Although many students have had struggled with the increase of anxiety, Aaliyah has taken initiative to take care of her mental health and combat anxiety. Aaliyah tries to go to the gym almost every day, though she makes sure that she does go on Tuesdays and Thursdays after her morning class, which starts at 9:10 a.m. and ends at 10:30 a.m. It's super convenient that she only lives about an 8-minute walk away from the gym, so she takes that opportunity to walk to the gym and have a head start at her workout. Aaliyah mentioned that following the COVID-19 guidelines on campus has helped her combat anxiety, considering that she doesn't have to worry too much about getting sick or getting anyone else sick as well. She doesn't mind the mask mandate, especially in the winter because it keeps her face warm. She also makes sure that when she does go out and hang out with friends, that everyone is safe and taking the precautionary measures to avoid the spread of COVID-19. You can see there's Aaliyah at the gym on a treadmill wearing her mask. In addition to the COVID-19 affecting mental health, stress also has a well-known connection to worsening first-year college students' eating habits. Researcher Choi, who wrote the article, Impact of Stress Levels on Eating Behaviors Among College Students, defines stress as a disturbance to one's psychological homeostasis or psychological well-being. The relation between stress and eating habits is well established in an analysis conducted by author and researcher Jung-Young Choi. Choi assessed that college students with high measures of stress demonstrate fewer healthy eating habits compared to those who have minimal stress. With first-year college students already having an increase in stress levels from the transition from high school to the college environment, Sun, Hedge, and Smith study reveals that COVID-19 caused even more stress. Obtaining even higher levels of stress has led college students to have deteriorating eating habits, of which has influenced eating disorders, weight gain, or weight loss. Author Sun, Hedge, and Smith study found that 70% of students indicated that COVID-19 had a negative impact on their nutritional behavior. Aaliyah noticed after a few months in college that her eating regimen was not the healthiest compared to when she was living at home. When she lived with her parents, Aaliyah would cook home cooked meals that would take some time to make, though the result was worth it, the wait, according to Aaliyah. Now that she lives at the campus dorms, Aaliyah recognized that she would go out and eat quite a bit of fast food because it was a quick and easy alternative, considering that she has a busy schedule with school and work. She also noticed that she was eating whenever she was bored or stressed. She took initiative and started to eat in moderation when she was hungry and ate nutritious foods that will give her energy rather than eating junk food that would make her tired all the time. Aaliyah said that the best way to stay healthy is by avoiding stress eating and staying active helps decrease stress. Now Aaliyah walks to the PHC dining hall, which is only a 5-minute walk for breakfast and lunch, or takes the time out of her day to cook a meal. In this image, Aaliyah was coming back from picking her lunch up from the PHC dining hall, which was salad and some fruit. A crucial issue that has not yet been addressed is COVID-19's impact on college students' motivation towards academic performance. This past fall and current spring academic semesters have been strenuous for many students to stay motivated while having several worries and responsibilities to attend. Among the effects of the pandemic identified, the most prominent was worries about one's own health and the health of loved ones, followed by difficulty concentrating, according to author Sun, Hedge, and Smith's article. In their study, it addressed that 89% of students have had a tough time focusing on their scholarly work. The researchers also indicated that 54% of students believe that their school workload has increased since the pandemic has started. These results are very similar to what Copeland, McGinnis, and Bayes study assessed. In Copeland, McGinnis, and Bayes study, they concluded that those first-year college students who had to move on campus during their fall 2020 semester had a lack of motivation throughout the semester due to the COVID-19 pandemic and academic stressors. According to their study, it also was found that COVID and assorted educational slash governmental mitigation strategies had a modest but persistent impact on mood and wellness behavior on first year university students. Although this may be true, the students who participated in the Copeland, McGinnis, and Bayes study were strictly full-time first-year students. The lack of representation for part-time college students makes this research conclusion unclear if it could be applicable to college students with different socio-demographics. During the fall school semester, Aaliyah mentioned that she was lacking educational motivation because her days would just blend considering that there wasn't much to do because of COVID-19. All she did was sleep, eat, work, and school. She decided to change it up for the spring school semester. As I mentioned, she started to go to the gym and cook her own meals. She also started to go to bed early to have an early start in her day the following day. Aaliyah has also incorporated a daily routine that has been helping her to stay organized and motivated. She also found what works best for her when it comes to her coursework. Aaliyah also mentioned that finding the balance between schoolwork and pulling out a book to read has helped her stay academically motivated. Due to the fact that she is also prioritizing her mental health, in the image on the left, Aaliyah is currently reading a book that one of her gym buddies suggested. It is called Self-realization. The image on the right is Aaliyah attending one of her AM courses before she goes to the gym. With all things considered, I aim to identify the impact COVID-19 has had on college students' psychological health. Based on quantitative and qualitative analysis, COVID-19 has brought undesirable outcomes to college students' well-being. This result indicates that the pandemic negatively affected the mental health of college students, reduced motivation for academic performance, and changed students' eating patterns. This presentation clearly illustrates the effects of COVID-19 on first-year full-time college students. However, it also raises a question of how COVID-19 would impact students of different demographics who are in the working field. In that case, to better understand the implications of these results, future studies could address the influences of COVID-19 on college students with different socio-demographic profiles. This is my list of works cited. Thank you so much.